speed. I am speed. One winner, many losers. I eat losers for breakfast. Breakfast? Why would I say breakfast? Oh, yeah. I'm hungry. All right. Now I'm ready.
Look out! Look out!
Today, we're taking a look at the newest racing game, Forza Horizon 6. Plus, I'm starting to dip my toes into video game development, and we see what games are coming up. All that on today's episode of Press Play. The Forza series first hit the track back in 2005 as Microsoft's answer to PlayStation's Gran Turismo. Developed by Turn 10 Studios, the original Forza Motorsports focused on realistic racing, detailed car customizations, and authentic driving physics. But in 2012, the series took a different route. That's when Playground Games introduced Forza Horizon. Instead of racing exclusively on closed circuits, Horizons dropped players into a massive open world built around the Horizon Festival. It kept much of the driving from motorsports while adding exploration, stunts, off-road racing, and a more arcade-style feel. Over the years, the festival has traveled across Colorado, Europe, Australia, Great Britain, and Mexico. Now, in 2026, the Forza Horizon Festival heads to its most requested destination yet, Japan. After years of fans asking for it, Playground Games has finally brought the Horizon Festival to Japan. And after spending time behind the wheel, I can safely say this may be one of the most beautiful Horizon worlds yet. One of the biggest reasons fans have wanted Japan for a Horizon game is the sheer variety of environments. Within just a few minutes of driving, you'll go to dense city streets filled with neon lights, to winding mountain roads, to quiet countryside villages surrounded by forest and rice fields. The cities are packed with details that feel alive, especially at night when the streets light up with colors, signs, and reflections. But for me, the real star of the map is the mountain region. The narrow roads, elevation changes, and endless corners make it feel like those roads were built specifically for sports cars and drift machines. And the reason being is because of this car. You may recognize it from the countless memes online and probably the music playing over them, but this is the Toyota AE86. The car became famous around the world thanks to the anime Initial D, which follows a young driver racing through Japan's mountain passes. And after spending time carving through these roads, I can absolutely see why fans have wanted Japan in the Horizon game for so long. These mountain passes feel like they were made for this kind of driving. And speaking of driving, let's talk about the gameplay. Like previous Horizon games, Forza Horizon 6 begins with a lengthy opening sequence. You'll sit through several cutscenes while being introduced to the Horizon Festival, before jumping between a variety of vehicles as the game takes you through a tour across Japan's many regions. Normally, I'm not a fan of long introductions in racing games, but I actually don't mind this one. The transition between cutscenes and gameplay are smooth. The scenery is constantly changing, and the game does a good job of showcasing what makes each region unique. Before long, you'll arrive at the center of the Horizon Festival, where the real game finally begins. Then, this is where the game finally gives you complete control. From this point forward, you're free to go wherever you want. If you want a road in the distance, you can drive there. If you see a mountain, chances are there's a way to reach it. And if something interesting catches your eye on the map, there's probably an activity waiting for you there.
As you're exploring the world, you'll also notice other players driving around the map. These aren't AI drivers, they're actual players sharing the world with you. Well, AI drivers are there as well to fill in the world.
If you want, you can challenge some of these players to race, join them for events, or simply cruise around Japan together. It's a feature that helps make the world feel alive, even when you're not actively participating in a race. One minute you're heading to your next objective, the next minute you're in an unofficial race with someone you've never met before.
It's moments like that make Horizon feel different than most racing games.
Of course, if you're not interested in racing random players, there's still plenty to do. Scattered across the maps are road races, dirt races, drift zones, speed traps, danger signs, collectibles, and enough side quests to keep completionists busy for a while.
But none of that matters, because how is the driving?
Thankfully, this is still Forza Horizon. Whether you're driving a compact hatchback, a rally car, or a multi-million-dollar hypercar, each vehicle feels distinct. The handling strikes a balance between simulation and arcade racing. It's realistic enough that different cars have their own personality, but forgiving enough that you don't need to be a professional driver to enjoy it.
One of my favorite things about Horizon has always been the variety.
One minute you're weaving through traffic in a sports car, the next you're launching an off-road truck through a muddy trail, and somehow the game manages to make both experiences equally enjoyable. Drifting also feels fantastic, especially on a mountain road. Even if you're not particularly good at it, the game does do a great job of making you feel like you're starring in your own racing movie. Well, at least until you hit a guardrail.
And with all these cars as well, you're able to customize.
Want to change the paint? Go for it. Add a new body kit? You can do that too. Upgrade the engine until your family sedan somehow becomes faster than a supercar? Well, Horizon will happily let you try. One of the things I've always enjoyed about the Horizon series is how much freedom it gives players to make their vehicles their own. For players who just want to drive, the game offers quick upgrade options that will automatically improve a vehicle's performance. But if you're the type of player who enjoys fine-tuning every detail, there's an entire tuning system waiting for you. You can adjust gearing, suspension, tire pressure, differential settings, and enough mechanical options to make me realize I know significantly less about cars than I thought I did.
Fortunately, if all that sounds overwhelming, the community has your back.
Players can share custom tunes online, allowing you to download setups created by other drivers with just a few button presses. The same goes for paint jobs and liveries. Some players create incredibly detailed designs and honestly look better than anything I could make myself. Within a few minutes, you can turn a factory fresh car into something completely unique.
Or in my case, a vehicle that looks amazing right up until I immediately drive it into a guardrail, which unfortunately happened more than once. But with all that, how do I score Forza Horizon 6?
When I review a game, I usually find at least one thing holding it back. Maybe it's technical issues, maybe it's repetitive gameplay, maybe it's a feature that just doesn't quite live up to its potential. But the more I've played Forza Horizon 6, the harder it became to find those problems. The world is beautiful, and honestly, I didn't even get a chance to talk about the soundtrack. Normally, music isn't something I spend a lot of time discussing in racing games, but the soundtrack here had me vibing the entire time I played. The driving feels fantastic, the car selection is massive, the online features help make the world feel alive, and perhaps most importantly, I never wanted to stop playing. Every time I told myself, just one more race, I ended up playing for another hour. That's the sign of a great game.
Forza Horizon 6 takes everything that I love from Forza Horizon 5 and brings more to it, and somehow it managed to exceed the expectation fans have had for over a decade. So with that in mind, Forza Horizon 6 receives a 10 out of 10. Yes, the first 10 out of 10 in press play history. If you're a racing fan, this is an easy recommendation. And even if you're not usually into racing games, Forza Horizon 6 does such a great job welcoming new players that it's worth giving it a shot. This is what an arcade racing game should be. I started learning game development using Godot and began work on my own arcade-style game.
My idea was simple. I wanted to create something inspired by the classic arcade shooters like the 1900s series, where players pilot a fighter plane, dodge enemy fire, and blast through waves of enemies.
Now, creating a game sounds easy on paper. You make a plane, you make it fly, you add enemies, done, right? No. Yeah, it turns out it's a little bit more complicated than that.
So, before I start showing off my game, let's talk about the software I'm using. It's called Godot. Now, Godot isn't a game itself, it's what's known as a game engine. Think of a game engine as a giant toolbox that developers use to build video games. It handles things like graphics, physics, sound, animation, and even programming. Godot is completely free and open source, which has made it a popular choice for independent developers and small teams. It can be used to create both 2D and 3D games and export them to multiple platforms. In other words, instead of spending years building the technology from scratch, developers can focus on actually making the game. And that's exactly what I decided to try.
For my first project, I wanted to create a simple arcade-style shooter inspired by games like the 1900 series.
I started with a player's plane by sketching out a rough concept in Adobe Fresco. Once I had something I liked, I brought the sketch into Adobe Illustrator, outlined it, cleaned it up, and added color. Now I know it looks simple, but this is still the first stage. At this point, I just wanted something moving on screen, so I started with the player. The goal was to let the player control the plane in 3 different ways: keyboard, mouse and keyboard, and controller. Because if this is going to feel like an arcade game, the movement has to feel good first.
So then came the coding. One thing that's different about Godot is that it used something called nodes.
Think of nodes like building blocks. Every object in the game, whether it's a player, enemy, camera, sound effect, or even the menu, is made up of nodes working together. Developers can then attach code to these nodes and tell them what to do. Want a plane to move? Code. Want it to shoot? More code. Want enemies to explode when they're hit? Yep, even more code. Well, I still need to figure that part out. And that's where I quickly discovered game development is more than just drawing a plane and putting it on screen.
I'm still very new to game development, but it's been a fun learning experience so far, and who knows, maybe one day this little arcade shooter will become a complete game. If you'd like to follow along with this project, let me know. I will post more development logs here on KTL Now and on YouTube as I continue learning the building game. Before we go, here are a few games arriving this week that you may want to keep an eye on.
NBA The Run launches June 9th and looks to be the spiritual successor to the classic arcade basketball game like NBA Street, featuring the fast-paced 3-on-3 action and over-the-top dunks. Solar Punk arrives June 8th, offering a unique take on the survival genre where players build a sustainable future using renewable energy, farming, and exploration rather than simply surviving an apocalypse. Fans of arcade shooters may want to check out FC Formation Z on June 9th, a modern shoot 'em up inspired by the classic arcade era. June 11th brings 2AT, a quirky adventure game from the creators of Kamatari Damacy, alongside the cooperative train building chaos of Unrailed 2, back on track. Other releases this week include Lost Castle, Dark Auction, Beholder Conductor, and Holdfast American Revolution.
And that's going to do it for this week's episode of Press Play.
Whether you're hitting the road in Forza Horizon 6, checking out one of this week's new releases, or even trying your hand at making your own game, there has never been a better time to be a gamer.
As for me, I'll be continuing to work on my arcade shooter and seeing just how far I can take this game development journey. Thank you so much for watching. I am Brian Clevenger, and until next time, keep playing, keep exploring, and as always, press play.
And finally, let's take a quick look at some of the latest game announcements and release date reveals.
Long ago, a shadow fell upon our planet. Guided by calamity, one man sought dominion through reunion. By his will, a star fell. A meteor called forth to bring ruin to all. But our planet answered, awakening mighty weapons to stand against this celestial threat. Now, hope endures in those who fight.
Long story short, the world's in trouble. Has been for a while.
So what are we waiting for? Let's give Sephiroth the beating of a lifetime. You're mine. I'll make this quick. Good night.
The sky's the limit!
I can do this. I'll make you proud.
Just ain't your day.
Oh my, is that a weapon I see?
Far as I can tell, these things don't distinguish between friend and foe.
Save the planet by killing her protectors. Let us put your faith to the test, Cloud.
Never would have made it this far without you guys. And I won't let you down. I promise.
At last, the promise is fulfilled. The journey ends here.
지금 넥서스 섹터 방향으로 가는 외선 순환 열차가 들어오고 있습니다.
The outer circle line train bound for Nexus sector is now arriving. Please wait for everyone to exit before boarding.
Evie! I'm listening.
The Scarlet Sin. That's the beginning and end of it all. How about you try taking a hit?
You're acting a little strange today.
Oh yeah? It's our first mission in a while. Aren't you a little excited?
Stop saying weird things.
Okay, take it easy.
Quiet. They're moving.
Initiating C3 sync. Ready, Angel.
Roger, Kenna. Tracking.
출입문 닫습니다.
Doors closing. How's it looking out there?
I can't stand crowds. It'd be better for both of us if we got out of here quickly.
In the movies, this is always where things go wrong.
Hey,
Well, just saying. It's a cliche. Wait, the target stopped.
Hearken! The pulse rain shall cease! In the name of the Father!
Oui? Qui est-ce? So, you're the American who called earlier. The sister of the man on the third floor. Ah, welcome to Paris. It's so nice to meet you. Brr, it's freezing. Come in. Come in. We don't want you to catch a cold. I hate to say it, but your brother is, well, quite odd. In we go. Oh là là. Mais quelle pagaille! He's made such a mess again. Think, I just cleaned it up a week ago. It's like a boulder rolled through here. Huh? Ah, the delightful biscuit. I'm sure he won't notice if we help ourselves. Oh, I'm so sorry. It must be the maintenance man from this morning. Won't be long. I'll bring some nice coffee to go with the biscuit.
Redfield.